What's going on, Firebenders? FirePhoenixKing here today, and of course, we are here again with FireFlowerPower podcast number 2 with Obi and Legend of Gurus. Welcome back.
Heck
Glad to
yeah.
be back.
And let me tell you, fellas, I've been very, very excited for these podcasts, like I said previously, but it's just now I'm kind of looking forward to every Saturday. Like, I really want it to be Saturday, like so quick throughout the week. How have you guys been doing so far?
I've
Obi,
been
why don't
doing
you go
great.
first? Yeah, you go first, man.
Yeah, I've been doing great. I mean, I just got back from visiting family in Puerto Rico, and the trip wasn't the best. I was so sleepy when I got back, but I've been doing great. I mean, I'm very happy now because I pre-ordered Rune Factory 5, and that was waiting for me home here, and I played that for a bit, and it's really good. It's very polished, in my opinion.
Oh,
Heck
okay.
yeah.
Man, I've been playing Kirby. Let me tell you something about Kirby.
I
Uh,
still need to get
Tell
it.
me, tell me about Kirby. Tell me about Kirby. Please,
man,
tell me something about Kirby.
it is the version of Breath of the Wild where it needed something, and the formula, or at least the new take of Kirby, is amazing. And man, it's been such a blast, and I can't wait for people watching podcast hopefully tune into the funny moments because it is a pretty good game. I think it was well worth the reviews it's getting. It's so crazy. It's very nice.
Speaking of Breath of the Wild, I have a question for Goose. What would your reaction be if the next Nintendo Direct there's like a screenshot or like a 3-second video of Samus looking over a cliff like the Breath of the Wild video?
And that's it.
Yeah,
Wait, so like Samus looking at a cliff, or
over a cliff, like an open world Prime 4 type of thing, like
oh
Breath of the
my
Wild for Metroid
goodness.
Prime.
Interesting. Oh man, God, an open world first person game in that'd be intense. I don't know. Like the thing that makes Metroidvanias so amazing is how like tight the world design is with like everything is methodically thought out for you to go in like specific directions or whatever, even though you can sometimes sequence break. So I feel like open world and Metroid would be like a really bad mix, at least in my opinion. But I mean, everything is going open world now. Like the Dark Souls guys just put out Elden Ring, and that game is working amazingly. So who knows? We'll see.
Well, the thing
They,
is,
they could make it work,
yeah, well,
I
They
believe.
probably could.
okay. So that was gonna be my next thing, was they could make it work because it would remind me so much of Destiny, of how it is now. I wouldn't want Metroid to become a looter shooter. I definitely would want it to be its own thing.
Please no.
But that would make it a really fun kind of online experience for Nintendo, because that could be their first open RPG world that they would have to kind of keep up, because I think they did try to do that with Splatoon and Splatoon 2, right, regarding like the online services. Even with Splatoon 2 getting an expansion, they did try to keep that fan base kind of like, hey, it's not just the base game, there's more to come. Actually, I'm really enticed to that idea. Like, I really like that idea if Metroid would become open world, especially if there's online multiplayer. Oh, that would be fun.
I
It'd
would,
be interesting.
yeah, I don't think I dig the idea of like it being multiplayer like that. Like Prime is known for like its story and exploring. Like I think they should focus like on that first. Prime 2 did have a multiplayer mode, but that wasn't the main attraction. It was just a fun little side thing.
I mean,
Yeah.
here's the thing that's going to be hard for Prime 4 is that we just got Metroid Dread, and that is like one of the best games in the series, if you ask me. So,
Yep.
like, well, okay. To be fair, Phoenix, that's like the only thing you have to go off of, man. Play some Zero Mission, why don't you?
Okay. It's so good, man, Metroid Dread. But yes, that is the
It
only
is so
Metroid.
good. So,
we
like,
we told you so.
yeah,
Oh, that's right.
honestly.
Yes, because I didn't want to try it because I'm, the Mario fanboy here.
Yeah, because it
Yeah.
didn't have Mario's face on it.
but like yeah, I don't like Prime 4 is gonna have like it's gonna have to live up to that. Which, like, to be fair, I'm a bit more of a bigger 2D Metroid fan than with the Prime series, because I just think the 2D games flow better, and tend to have like better, world design. Like, it's not as infuriating to try to get around. Like, Prime 1 and 3 are still really good. Prime 2 I'm kind of iffy about, but Prime 4 is going to have to live up to being as good as Dread, which is going to be tough, but
The
hopefully it
Prime
comes out good.
games are the ones that were for GameCube, and I'm saying this because yes,
And we.
oh, that's
And
right,
Wii, yeah,
and we Prime
Corruption was on
3.
Wii.
So the thing with that is, I guess, uh, I know, you guys have probably been paying attention to this, but just to bring this out, because we are talking about Metroid, Metroid Prime Trilogy. You think it exists for the Switch or no? I think it does.
No.
I think what? You don't think it does?
I think Nintendo's gonna do a Nintendo, and it's just gonna be the first Prime game upscaled, and that's it.
Ooh,
It's not the
Oh
trilogy,
man.
man, like
trilogy that
I'm
everyone wants.
I'm in the middle, because I feel like it could happen, but I also feel like it could have happened like for the past 5 years. So
Yeah.
I'm starting to get a little worried of like, but I mean, we just got Skyward Sword, and that was something that early on in the Switch everybody was saying like they should totally
Yep.
remaster that.
Yeah.
So maybe if they were working on like full remasters for all three games, that would be so sick. I would love that. The question is, do they see that as worth it?
Well, I think it is because there's players like me that unfortunately fell in love with the Metroid series franchise just by Metroid Dread alone. But players like me, I haven't played anything else regarding Metroid, and it would be nice to have 1, 2, and 3 on Switch before getting 4. You know what I mean? Yeah, I got my wallet
Well,
ready.
Nintendo wants you to buy a Wii U before March 2023. You can get it for $20.
March. Oh,
That's
20.
true.
I thought you said March.
People will say that
23.
if it did get announced too, just like with Skyward Sword, people would be like, why would you spend $60 on this when you could get it
Yep.
for 20 on the Wii U eShop? Nintendo sucks. It's so anti-consumer. And it's like, bruh, have you seen all of the upgrades? That's the thing that's exciting. Because Prime Trilogy on Wii, like the motion controls were like all it needed to like really be revolutionary. Like, adding motion controls to Prime 1 and 2 was awesome. Like, that was really good. But now, if they could like fix some of the problems that both games have, maybe tighten up some of the backtracking you have to do in like the beginning of Prime 1 and most of Prime 2, that would be really cool. I would love to see like the quality of the Zelda remasters, like Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, and Skyward Sword, but with the Prime trilogy. That would be so cool.
I think Nintendo always does. Like, I think they're probably the only company that actually puts. I mean, I'm gonna tread lightly here, but based on the games that I personally play, Nintendo usually treats their remakes and remasters very good when it comes to scaling them or stuff like that. Even like the Mario's, I know Mario, the Mario 35th anniversary pack. Even though yes, it's an emulator and whatever, it looks great. I feel like they're
the only one. The only one that bothers me out of those is Mario 64, because they could have done a lot more. Like, it's so easy to flip a switch in the source code to turn Mario 64 to 60 frames. Like, it's so easy.
Okay.
And also the thing that was bad.
69.
69 frames per second.
No, I'm talking about 69 aspect ratio.
Oh, 6. Oh, yes. Okay, yeah.
I think you said 69. I was like, what are you doing?
No.
Yeah. No, like it was funny too, because when the Mario thing came out, that was like right after the source code for Mario 64 leaked.
Right.
And people were able to make full PC versions of the game, like full decompilations that had completely updated textures, 16:9, 60 frames, even uncapped frame rate, even new camera controls, everything. So like that happened, and then immediately after they were like, here's the Shindo version of Mario 64, like without any differences at all. But like I guess they redid some of the like HUD art
Yeah,
Okay.
Look, it was perfect.
but
Okay.
it's this is the version that the speedrunners hate because you can't do the escalator trick or
Yeah,
what's it
you
called,
can't do
the
the
stair trick.
backwards long
and
jump.
and I think
The BLJs.
Mario Sunshine still had some of the like the polygons that was left by them putting into the from the emulator or something like that. I don't know if you guys recall, but if you guys have played Sunshine already, there's a level where there's this cube that is going up, and you can actually see like the like where it's actually going because they left it in the game. You guys haven't noticed that?
I never played these
Oh,
versions. So.
what? Oh my god, well worth it. But okay. So
I
you,
think. Oh, hold on. Let me see if I'm
hmm
understanding. I think what you're referencing is some type of puzzle or something in the game that normally would not be seen by the player
yeah.
because of the aspect ratio being 4:3. But by changing the aspect ratio to 16:9, you can see extra things that you shouldn't be able to see.
Oh,
Is that accurate?
probably. I'm not even sure anymore. But it's like it's something that actually I have to see the word for it, but it actually tells the block where it's supposed to go. We weren't supposed to see that, and it's still in the game, I believe. But something that you did bring up, Colton, regarding the Metro Prime series and motion controllers, and I know Obi and I have gone back and forth on this, and on
Oh, hold
record.
on. Before you continue, the so so-called motion controls on Prime 1 and 2 are literally just pointer controls. It's not really motion. It's just an IR pointer.
I mean, that's true, but still, like it was still a cool enough upgrade to make playing those
Yeah,
games feel different.
Yeah.
yeah, I like it. I was just correcting Eddie or Phoenix before he would say, "Oh, heard their motion controls bad."
Okay, well, look, all
Uh,
right, because we're getting into it, and on
uh,
our first debate here at the Flower Power Fire Flower Power. so,
I guess you hate Mario Odyssey because it has motion controls.
okay, this is what I'm gonna say. All right, this is what I'm gonna say. So the pointer, I love it. I love it. I just cannot like. Okay, the Wii, it was made for motion controllers. Like it was made. Those games were made for it. But for example, on the Switch.
I know what you're talking about. I know where you're getting to with Skyward Sword.
Skyward
Oh yeah,
Sword's motion controllers weren't that great.
Not
So
gonna lie, but
I disagree.
when I played the Switch Sports sequel, the sword fighting game did not feel as good as the sword fighting did on Wii Sports Resort. And I'm thinking that's because the Joy-Cons don't really have an IR sensor that you can
mhm.
just point to the screen to and just calibrate it. So that's the
Yeah,
main thing holding it back. But it's not that bad even on the Switch. The only bad thing is that you have to constantly calibrate the
Yeah,
motion controls.
and I will say that I will admit to that and say yeah that's true because as long as you're calibrating it it does work great. But that's my thing. If I have to constantly fix something, that's personally that's part of my experience, even if it's just one touch of a button, because it's literally what the left stick, the left button to recalibrate it on Skyward Sword, right? The
The
control
Y
pad.
button.
Oh, it's the Y
yeah.
button. Yeah. And so, yeah, even though it's right there, it's very, easy. It is still, again, for me, part of my experience to have to do that. It does sort of make me feel like, oh my God, here we go again. And yeah, so it took a while for me to play. And I did try to play it with the Pro controller with the right joystick. And that felt weird. Having
Yeah.
to play like that with the Skyward Sword. Have you
Yeah, I
guys?
think it's a good option. It's a good option for people, but I
Yeah,
prefer the motion controls.
and that goes to Nintendo where they're constantly always going based off of innovation. I mean, they've always said that they're that company that leads instead of just common. Here's a button, press it, and then the stick, and that's it. But one other game that has used it very well, which I played a lot on my Wii U, which was my only game played on the Wii U most of the time, was Call of Duty Ghost. And I enjoyed using pointers on that one. That was
Do you use the Wii
amazing.
remote on nunchuck?
Yes, I did. But that was because it was I'm not gonna well, I don't really play PC, so I don't know how accurate this is, but it feels really well. Like it feels really good. It feels natural. It feels better than a controller.
I remember you telling me that back then,
It
and
it
even
does.
I think I had Call of Duty on Wii U, but I only got it because it was like 10 or 20 bucks. I don't really play Call of Duty, but I played it on the Wii a little bit because a friend gave it to me as a gift,
Yeah.
and it played like I do miss that about the Wii, that it had the sensor bar and you could
Mm-hmm.
point it to the TV. That worked really well, but
Yeah.
I understand why Nintendo doesn't want to do that because it's just people don't want to deal with that anymore. Which
Yeah,
is
Yeah.
nobody wants to set it up.
yeah, which is it sucks, but it's just something we have to move past. We have to
Yeah.
use the gyro aiming now instead of the IR aiming.
But what I have seen that brought me joy is to and this of course is a rumor. I don't have any official confirmation, so this isn't Nintendo or Activision saying it, but according to a rumor, some Call of Duty titles are gonna be ported over to Switch, and not. And I mean, the word was used. The word that is being used is ported, not cloud
About damn
versions.
time. About damn time.
Yeah,
If the
but
Yeah.
if the Wii U could run Call of Duty and they
right.
put how many Call of Duty games on it?
They did put like two or three, but they definitely put the ones that were already also on the Xbox One and the PS4 at the time, and they were great. They were running great. I was playing all of those, so if this rumor comes true, it's gonna be really great for me personally. I've always wanted Call of Duty and my Mario games in one console. Once I get that,
Destiny.
that's it. What see that, and that's that's really more for my girl. Like she loves Destiny, and that's an Activision thing. Well, not anymore. Activision no longer is a part of Bungie. Bungie's
Let's
the
Microsoft bring it over.
yeah. Now that well, Sony now owns
Wait.
Bungie.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah. Sony owns Bungie. Microsoft owns Call of Duty, Activision. And Xbox. I forgot who exactly said it, but they want to also see their games be on the Switch, and I think that's good. I think that's all good for all gamers. That's something I really
It was Phil
appreciate.
Spencer.
Okay,
Man,
yes.
Phil. Can we
So
talk about how Phil Spencer is like one of the best people in
he's
gaming right now?
one of the best people for the industry right now, man. He is able to see for all. Like that's his big thing that he's always saying like no, let's not focus on exclusivity. Let's, for the gamers, regardless of where you're playing. I think that at the end of the day, that's what's going to make you money too. Like, Xbox knows that because now they own Call of Duty, and I think that's only if the deal gets passed or whatever. But once they own Call of Duty, they already said they're not going to stop selling Call of Duty on PlayStation just because they own it. That's money. But Phil Spencer just is a great, gaming figure for gaming for sure.
I think he may be saying that until the ink dries on his contracts.
That's what everybody
That's
says.
to be fair.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, a lot of people will say that like because Xbox isn't as popular as the other two, they kind of have to be more like, oh hey, like yeah, look at how friendly and open we are. Then if Xbox were ever to be back on top, then they would be like, all right, listen. No more deals with anybody, okay? You buy an
Yep.
Xbox Series X and you're gonna be happy, okay?
Jeez.
And you're not getting a Banjo 3 either.
Oh my goodness. But that's the thing. They own Minecraft, and Minecraft is everywhere. So I just
Minecraft was already well, I guess you could say the same about Call of Duty, but I
Yeah.
feel like Minecraft is just a lot like there's not multiple versions of Minecraft coming out.
Yeah, that's
so they
true.
kinda, unless they pull Minecraft from everything now, then and that will piss a lot of people off,
yeah.
But Call of Duty's different because they keep coming out with new games. They
Yeah.
don't have to make the new games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, yeah, I can definitely see that. That's definitely true. Um
And real quick, I feel like speaking of Microsoft, I feel like Xbox has been giving the Switch or Nintendo more support than
Yeah.
EA. Do you remember back on like at E3 2011 or 12, I think it was, where the EA CEO got on stage with Reggie and Iwata, and
Oh my god.
he was talking about
Supporting
their
it.
supporting the Wii U with their unprecedented new partnership.
Oh man.
And their
That
big
became a joke.
titles. Oh my god,
Or
yes.
what about whenever they did the video? I think it was like E3 2015 where they did the video with Reggie about Skylanders, and it was like this is gonna be a
Oh
revolutionary
yeah.
partnership. Nothing. Like at the
Nothing.
most, they got the idea for amiibos from that, and that's it.
Oh my god. Yeah. What about Sky? What happened to Skylanders? Did it just completely fall off?
Market
I
saturation.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, exactly. They couldn't justify people buying those toys anymore.
And
You know.
that's interesting that we're talking about how Microsoft is supporting Nintendo because that really is true. There's just a lot more. Like even what was that? I don't want to butcher the name, but the game with the Ori, Ori is on Switch. I know
It's
that's a.
sold
Oh yeah.
most on Switch apparently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
Mhm.
so I like that. I actually like that they're going back and forth. I know at the time, a couple of months ago, there was like a rumor where or Microsoft was going to bring the Xbox Live Pass to Switch. That would of course translate to cloud games. And now after playing Kingdom Hearts cloud version, I don't think I would want that.
No,
I don't
please.
think I would want that. And yeah, I just feel like maybe if we keep, cause that's the thing, man. There's just so many
I don't think
games.
I think that may have been something that they were interested in doing, but think of it about like Nintendo's perspective. Like, why
Yeah,
would you let like a competitor come in and like pretty much take over your online infrastructure? Like
yeah,
that.
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, cause it's not perfect, but yeah, I can definitely see that. Cause the online services for Nintendo, as we've said before, we definitely don't have a tremendous love for it, but it is there. And I do hope that Nintendo really does step up their game because some of these. So see, like with Mario Kart, I rarely have a bad experience online. For
because
Smash,
because the lag is hidden. Since Mario Kart, you don't need the it's like it doesn't really matter like the frame by frame button press or whatever because you're just going straight. They can kind of
hmm
guess where you're going. With Smash, you need every single action, and I guess I'm still not sure. Like I still don't understand the whole rollback thing because I feel like that would make the game more inaccurate if it's guessing what you're going to do.
Yeah, no, I rollback is really the only time rollback is important is for fighting games. Like no other game really needs rollback besides fighting games.
Well, how does that work? Like, cause it does it like just revert like roll back to what was happening before the lag, or like I just don't really understand how that works.
Yeah, I'm not entirely an expert on it either. So I'm not going to pretend like I know everything about it,
just
but I do know that it is much better than just having, peer to peer.
mm,
Um,
okay. It's just
so because
rollback
like
good.
here's games that have rollback like Arxis games like Guilty Gear Strive tend to be played online much more than other games, or like the online experience is much better than say if you're playing like Street Fighter 5 or Tekken 7, where sometimes if you're playing with somebody with only like 2 bars, then it's just going to be a lag fest and you won't be able to do anything.
I hope Mario Strikers has rollback because of that physical contact.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Ooh, I'm gonna
But
be tackling everybody.
real quick, while we were on the topic of Microsoft, did y'all hear about the rumor that they're like remaking 007 GoldenEye?
Oh yes, I'm ready for the
Yeah.
pause menu sound, the music, boom, chicka, boom. Playing that on. I'm just gonna leave it on.
I hope
But
if they do that, they also bring the original to the N64 online. That'd be
yeah,
cool to have.
oh my god, I
Yeah.
would spend hours. Man, it was just so weird back in the day how you just really didn't need internet. I mean, me personally, I just would go over to a friend's house, pop GoldenEye in, start beating each other up. License to Kill was my favorite game mode. And
Yeah, see, the thing is that people all the time talk about how great GoldenEye was, but that's the thing. It was great. Playing it now is not easy.
oh yeah,
it
yeah.
it has aged. So I would be super down for them because they had that I can't remember if it was Rare that did like the remaster on 360, and they like actually made the full game, but the company was like, no, we're not going to do this because it would be too much of a licensing issue. And then that like enhanced port got leaked, I think last year. And it's GoldenEye, but it runs at 60 frames and has widescreen.
Hmm.
So it's like the exact same remasters they
Oh.
did for Banjo-Kazooie and Conker's Bad Fur Day, all of that for Rare Replay. So well, Conker actually didn't have an upgrade, but like the Banjo-Kazooie re-releases. So
Hmm.
it sounds like they might want to do that now after that sparked a bunch of interest, because yeah, a lot of people were like, holy moly,
Yeah.
they actually went ahead and made this whole remaster and just never released it because they didn't want to deal with licensing. So I could see them now being like, well, if people want to pay for this, then we might as well like do a full
Do
thing.
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
that'd be super
That's cool.
cool, especially like a PC version with like mouse and keyboard controls too. Like that would be super fun.
And
So I hope they do that.
I need my pointers.
Give me my motion
Give me
controls,
my
please.
motion controller so I can quickly do a 360 turnaround. Clay. I like that. I like that a lot. Which I don't know why thinking about 007 GoldenEye. You said that, and I'm like thinking of so many games that, like, for example, I would want them to do Conker's Bad Fur Day. I think that would be cool. I enjoy playing that game. I'm not sure if you guys ever
Technically, it
played
does
it.
have a remake.
Oh, it
Technically,
I think
does.
that
Conker's
has.
does have it has the on the original Xbox. It had a remake.
Oh.
Live and
I
Reloaded.
think I know it looks ugly, but
Oh well.
It's like it's not exactly ugly, but it's
Turkey.
just it's a clash of art styles from what the original was, and also there were a lot of other problems too. They rewrote some lines. They did more censoring than the 64 version had, which I think originally the only word that was censored in the 64 version was the F word.
Oh.
But they censored like a lot more words on top of that in the Xbox remake. So that there was that, but gameplay wise, it's like a million times better. Because you go back and you
Hmm.
play Conquer, and that game is tough, especially like once you get around to the last, especially when you get around to the last like the war level. Trying to do those gun controls on 64 wasn't wasn't exactly easy. So they like completely overhauled the gameplay for Live and Reloaded, and it's actually really good.
Man,
So
I just think of so many games they could bring back, and
I just want it on Switch Online. Bring all the rare games to Switch Online,
oh
please.
yeah,
yeah, dude,
yeah.
Conker's multiplayer was so much fun. That would be cool as hell to see
Uh,
online.
you guys think we're gonna get Donkey Kong 64 on Switch, or did they already
No,
announce that?
They haven't. The only three games left for the Switch Online 64 that they haven't released is Kirby, Pokemon Snap, and Mario Golf. So once they release those three, hopefully they tell us what else is coming, or are
Wait,
we
they
just gonna?
announced that those games were coming out. Oh, in the initial
Yeah,
presentation.
right.
yeah. So I'm gonna guess that afterwards it's gonna be like every couple of months we'll get maybe one or two, kind of like how we've been getting the drip feed for NES and Super Nintendo.
I'm hoping that's not the case because I want Smash, DK64, and the Mario parties ASAP.
But do you want them
Yeah,
to just bring it back, or would you like a remake of those games, except Smash?
No, I don't need remakes. I mean, the games play fine the way they are, and they already did Mario
Hmm.
Party. I'd rather them focus on their new stuff than doing remakes. So I'm fine with them just putting them on Switch Online.
Okay. What about you, Mr. Grooves? Any remakes, or you just want them to add it to the Switch Online?
As far as
well,
64 games we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, 64 games remakes. I mean, I would always love to see a Banjo Kazooie remake like that. That's
Mm.
still probably my favorite platformer ever. Period. Even though like Mario 64 and Odyssey are up there, Hat in Time is up there, but I don't know, man. Banjo Kazooie is untouchable, and a remake of that would be so awesome. Especially if they remade that in Tui and they made like the stop and swap stuff work, which they did on the 360 version, which is really cool. but that was just a remaster.
I loved
So
Banjo-Tooie.
Banjo-Tooie is like, it's weird. Part of me wants to say it's underrated, and then part of me remembers all the really horrible moments like Canary Mary and breaking my controller trying to mash the A button and and how she literally cheats. So I and this could be a whole discussion in itself. I think Tui is a good game, but I prefer Kazooie.
I enjoyed the first-person shooter aspect of that game as well.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, when you take out Kazooie, just like in Smash.
Are you spoiling stuff?
Oh God! Oh,
no,
no!
that's not a spoiler. It's a mechanic.
Oh, I was about to say, like, you never played it, Obi?
Yeah, I played it
Oh,
on
okay,
Switch
good.
Online. I haven't beat it yet. I'm in the ice world.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're talking about the first one. Yeah, we were talking about the second one, Tui.
Oh, I bought it
I'm
a couple months ago because I like getting games for N64 just to collect them. So I do have it, but I haven't played it because I'm playing through the first one.
Yeah, me too. I'm
I
actually.
I'm still really mad that they never like, because I understand the point of the virtual console and like the Nintendo's like what they're doing on the Switch, trying to stick true to the originals, but the Xbox remasters of Banjo-Kazooie and Tooie are a million times better than playing the 64 versions. Like, for one, they don't lag to hell. So two, you actually keep your notes whenever you die in a level, so you don't have to completely redo everything. Like, there's just so many improvements in those, and I really wish that we got those versions instead of the 64 version of Kazooie. But whatever.
I really, you know what feature I really do like about Switch Online right now is the ability to be able to create a suspend point and then pick it up
Save
from
state.
that suspend point. It's so good, especially for Majora's Mask. That way you're not that way you're not actually constantly having to like restart from the first day or so on and so forth. It's such a nice
You mean the way the
feature.
game is intended to be played?
I mean, Drew Goose is right, but I like it's very convenient, and the 3DS game also had like its own. I think you said that you didn't like that about the 3DS remake, that you could save anywhere. Was
I
that
mean,
you?
I think the 3DS. I think the 3DS remake of Majora is just bad in general, but
What?
that's just me.
Because of
What?
the Sora swimming mechanics?
Zora swimming is a really bad part of it, and yeah, the saving anywhere is not quite the way the game is. Like the game is supposed to be a panic attack.
Oh
You're
yeah.
supposed to be stressed while playing Majora. That's like the point. So I'm not trying to have it be like a gatekeeping thing either, because like it's fine. I just feel like the best way to play the game is without. I mean, even
That's
then,
true.
if you do have to stop, you had owl saves in the original.
Yeah.
Which the Japanese version of the original didn't have it, so you only could play Song of Time. They added
What?
the owl save. Yeah, they added the owl saves to the US version because they knew that it was kind of too intense.
Too intense,
Um,
bro. They had a whole kid with a mask with scary music. What the whole game was stressful. I just remember being. I'm not gonna lie. I was scared of that game. To just
Oh yeah.
to even boot it up and have the mask go.
Oh, me too.
Oh
Yeah,
my
there were many.
goodness.
I remember the first time one of the first times I was playing, because my story, and I remember I told this in our podcast like 5 years ago, or maybe even longer ago. But my story with Majora was I went to Blockbuster to rent Ocarina of Time because I had gotten it the week before and I wanted to get it again to continue that, and I was hoping my file was still there, and I picked up the cartridge that said Zelda because I was like, oh yeah, right, Zelda, not realizing that it was actually Majora. So I go to boot it up, and I'm like, hey, what the heck? Like, why are
Oh
there only
my
two files? Well,
goodness.
I guess I'll start a new file, and then all the stuff that happens in the beginning, it was like
Oh
traumatizing.
yes, exactly. Oh my goodness, dude. Oh yes, I remember. Yeah, even fighting the final boss, Majora, the mask itself, it was scary still. And I dang, I really want to get into this, but I'm not sure like how long it's gonna drag this out. But what is up with the moon? Is the moon Majora's, or the Majora's mask created the moon with the face? I still don't understand that.
It's kind of like the moon is definitely not the actual moon. I know that much. Um, And even then, if that's like a whole discussion on if you want to say like how much of Majora's Mask is real, because like and I'm not talking about the theories that Link is dead the whole
It's a
time because I don't like
fever
those.
dream.
I was about to say that.
I think it's mostly like another you kind of like go into another dimension, like that's what Termina is supposed to be, and that's why like you have the same models from Ocarina of Time being reused for different characters. It's like it's supposed to kind of be like a parallel dimension kind of thing. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, the moon. I don't know if the moon is actually supposed to be like the moon or if it's a big old rock that just starts forming over the landscape and people just assume it's a moon.
Yeah.
But why does it have a giant scary face? Does it
Yeah,
always have that,
exactly.
or is that Majora's power?
That's what I'm saying. I never figured that out.
I never thought about it. I'm like, okay, but that's the moon. It's coming down, so let's play the Song of Time before it does.
Before it does.
Yeah, and like honestly, it could just be like a don't think too hard about it kind of thing, which I can appreciate for that. Like you have this wacky world that Termina is, so yeah, just kind of accept that. Oh yeah, sure, that's the moon, and it's gonna crash in 3 days. Okay, that's normal.
I just remember like having to beat Majora's and making me feel like, dang, I achieved something great. Like I did this again.
Yeah,
Every
Oh yeah.
time. I even getting all the masks in that game is so rewarding to me personally. It's like, wow, this is cool because the side quests in that game are so good. I
Yeah,
enjoyed
best
every
in the
single one of them.
series. Definitely best in the series.
Yeah, for sure. And so that's what kind of made me feel like, dang, like this was a pretty good achievement for me. I don't know what other games make you guys feel like that, but
yeah.
Majora's is
Those
definitely one of them.
Skyward Sword side quests were modeled after Majora's Mask in a way, because a
Oh,
lot of
Yeah,
them
actually, I
were
can
like
see that.
time.
yeah, time exclusive, and you even have the hand coming out of the toilet.
Yeah,
Yeah, as the throwback.
He was there from the beginning. The
Yeah.
hand.
In Skyward Sword, it's a lady that falls in love with this one kid that wrote a love letter to a girl.
and then you
Um,
throw it in the trash so they could wipe its butt.
yep,
And you
yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah. Then the ghost falls in love with Colin, and then he's yeah. That's a really fun side quest.
I
Man, I
bet
love Skyward Sword.
you.
Underrated game.
I will. Yeah, it's a fun game. It's just, it's for me, it's just the linear portion, as I've said. Like it's just that it's linear. Like, but I just would like to like even with Kirby, what they're doing such a good job with Kirby is you being able to go any is of course it's a sandbox. I'm not gonna say it's an open world, but you can go anywhere where
Level
you're
based,
allowed.
right?
Yes, it is, and
more like 3D World than Odyssey.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
It's not really
exactly.
open world then.
Well, yeah, no, no, it's definitely not open world. So it's not like Mario Odyssey because Mario Odyssey the maps are definitely bigger. It's more like 3D world, I would say for sure, because it's still linear. Like it's the game still forces you to take the path that it wants you to take, but you could still explore the air like the little areas that they give you. And so that's my thing with Skyward Sword. Yes, you have the big sky, but even then, you only have like one or two islands that serve an actual purpose. You don't really explore it. It's just, hey, this little piece of rock, it has a treasure on it. Go ahead, pick it up. But then you go,
So I'll agree.
then
I
you,
like I fully agree with that. Or you finish. Go ahead.
yeah,
Finish.
no, well, yeah, for sure. And then when you guys, when you go towards Earth or wherever you land on, it's still that very, very linear structure where it's like the only one that sort of lets you explore is the Pharaoh Woods, but even then it's all a big circle. So that definitely is like a sandbox right there. Everything else is linear. Like it's linear. Like I really don't know how else to put it, but it is very linear. Like you cannot. Oh, in the desert you can actually, yeah, for sure, go any direction you want, but again it's still a donut, so at the end of the day it's
So
still within the area. But
so
mhm.
with Skyward Sword, the thing about that is that yes, it's true. The game is extremely linear, and exploring isn't really exactly an amazing thing in it, which is a downer. However, you're trading that for, and again, this is my opinion, so if you disagree, that's okay. But you're trading that exploration for the best gameplay in the series,
Yeah.
the best story in the series, and the best
Yeah.
dungeon design in the series.
Yeah.
So I take that trade off like any day. I think Skyward Sword has like I don't know. It's hard to say most imaginative because then you can point out dungeons from a lot of different Zelda games that stand out, like Stone Tower or the Shadow Temple, which that could be a discussion in itself. Favorite Zelda dungeons,
The
but
Spirit Temple.
Spirit Temple is a
That
really good one.
one's
Pretty
really
much,
good with
pretty
time
much every
travel.
temple in Ocarina is perfect.
That was
Um,
beating a Zelda, like, for me, like beating a temple in almost any Zelda game makes me feel accomplished if I can do it in one try without having to be like, I'm stuck, and then like
yeah,
having to like retrace my steps. Every time I beat a temple, even if I go back and like I'm able to remember how to beat an exact temple, like it's just so accomplished. Like I feel accomplished after doing that the first time.
I did
Um,
it with the Water Temple on Switch
yeah,
Online,
yeah, me too.
surprisingly,
Me
oh
too.
yeah,
without
That's what I was
looking
like,
up a
what?
guide.
Yeah, me
because it's not that
too.
hard. Because it's not that
You
hard.
don't think so?
I mean, we've done it so many times, but this is like the fourth or fifth time I've played through Ocarina of Time, maybe. Like I think twice on Wii, and once on 3DS, and then this one. So the fourth time, yeah, I would say.
I
I'm
think
just.
there's only one bastard thing the Water Temple does in Ocarina, and that's that after you get into into like the first floor main structure, and then you raise the water to the second floor, uh, that block comes up, and you have to go under that block, but there's
Oh
no
yeah,
indication you have to go down. That's the only
yeah.
bastard thing that the Water Temple does.
It
Other than
doesn't
that, I
tell
think it's really
you.
good.
Yeah, it doesn't actually tell you. It just shows you the camera where it's like raising the block, but it doesn't like zoom in or pan down to the floor showing you the hole. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Like
But
really, the thing that really sucks about the Water Temple is just having to pause the game and equip the Iron
oh
Boots,
my
which the
god.
three the 3DS version fixed. The 3DS version fixed that by making the
I
Iron Boots an item.
I really
So
like the menu sounds, so I didn't really care. Yep.
And then you equip
that's
the
fair.
wrong boots and oh snap! I clicked the green tunic. Put it
I
back.
can't breathe.
I can't breathe. But okay, so I don't know. For because I was gonna say I don't know how people got stuck. I never got stuck in the water temple. I knew of the like the that frustration that some players were saying, oh, it's real. You can actually get stuck in the water temple if you don't have like.
It's because there's four rooms on each direction, and sometimes it's hard to tell where you just left, and you go in the same place that you were just in, and then you have to go right. It's because it's very convoluted. So if you don't really know what you're doing, you just kind of just going
What?
randomly.
w-
You're never gonna figure
Yeah,
it
you
out. You
can
have
get turned around.
Well, wasn't it about like something about if you don't unlock certain doors in a certain order, you would get locked out or something like that, and that's what made
No,
it so where you actually had to
no,
restart the whole game or something.
no.
no.
That's never happened in any Zelda game.
It's just that they would do it in a weird order, so whenever people would try to help them, they wouldn't know what to tell them because it's not the same order. Like you can get the keys out of order, so you have to tell them check this place, check this place. There's usually a place that they missed, and I think it's usually the one where you have to like that it's one of them that's like pretty well hidden. I think you have to go back to you have there's a lot of like what Bruce said he hates about some games, like you have to
Mm-hmm.
go back to places you were already what was it? What was that called? Backtracing?
Backtracking, backtracking.
Backtracking?
Oh, so it was never about those things. It was just more so people forget. Okay, I can see that then. Okay, yeah, because I've always thought like, wow, is that really a thing? Like you can actually get stuck in it. Like I was actually talking about like legit, like the game telling you like, oh, you used the key in the wrong door. Like you can't get the other
Oh,
key. Get out, restart the game. And if you save, then you're gonna have to restart the whole game. That is crazy. Okay, well then that makes me feel better because That I would have hated for that to happen to me. Imagine you're in the water temple, you get stuck, you use the wrong key in the wrong door.
Did you get
Yeah,
all
no,
the
that's
Skulltulas?
Oh, I never did.
Oh,
I
I
never
did.
did. I never did.
get good.
Is that like one of
Not
your
hard.
proudest gaming achievements?
Yes.
Oh,
What
okay.
about something current? Are you getting all the fairies from each temple in Majora's Mask while you're
So
playing through it now?
So I am, but that's because what's helping me a lot is the fairy mask, because the fairy mask, it tells you if there's a fairy in the room, and as long as you're in the room and the fairy is around, if it's not stuck in a bubble or something, or you free it, the fairy will come to you like automatically as long as you're wearing that mask. So
Okay.
yeah, so it makes it easy. So I wouldn't say it makes me like, like, oh man, an achievement. But what
What
what?
did you do to get that mask? Cause I forgot.
Oh, you just go as soon as you start the game. As soon as you are get your ocarina, you turn back time, turn into young Link from Smash, and then you you then go visit the fairy again, the great fairy that gave you the magic meter,
Oh, okay.
and
So just
she's
talk
the
to
one that
her
gives
again.
you the mask. Yeah, she's
Yeah,
the
you
one that
have to
gives you the
talk to her a
mask.
second time.
Yeah, and then
Cool.
you just use that. So it's really cool. But one thing I forgot that I keep thinking to myself, like, please do it in the next playthrough, because I'm still not done with the game right now. I just beat the Snow Peak Temple, but I totally forgot to talk to the cool kid again, the one with the red hat, because he's the one that gives you the
You
notebook.
still don't have the notebook?
Yeah, exactly.
I just got it.
I
Wow,
totally forgot it, and
man,
I just beat Snow Peak Temple, and I'm going through the whole game, and I don't have my notebook.
you're gonna have to redo some side quests
Oh
if you
man.
wanna see that, man.
I just,
Uh,
I
If
just,
you wanna
I
fill it
just
up.
got it. I just got the notebook, but I did beat the Woodfall Temple. Just, I think it was, yeah, just
mm-hmm.
today while I was on the plane. That was fun, but I got all the fairies without having that mask, and a lot of it was muscle memory. Thankfully,
Wow,
there's
damn,
like
What?
that's actually
there was
hard.
there was three of them at the end. I think three or
Yeah,
four. 'Cause
three or
I
four.
was
Yeah.
I was looking everywhere for them, and I'm like, okay, let me just progress and see if I get lucky, because I think
Mm-hmm.
there's like three of them at the end, and yep, I was right.
Yeah.
Man,
No, that Majora's, man. I'm telling you that I guess like my equivalence of accomplishment for that particular thing is the mask. Just I'll still stay on that, because the masks is if you know how to get all the masks, that's cool. But then actually doing it, like the one quest
You do it without looking it up.
well, that's what I was gonna say too. Is like, even now, I remember some of them. I remember one of them. The one I was also scared of was the alien one in the ranch, where you have
Oh,
to protect the ranch from the cows from the aliens, and you have to shoot them down with the bow while
yeah.
being
yep.
on the opponent. Yeah, I remember. I was like, oh my god, can it already be?
Otherwise, if you don't do that, they abduct
They
Romani and
abduct.
lobotomize her.
They actually take Romani. I just remember they just take the cow.
And they take the
No,
girl
they
too.
take her. Yeah,
They
if you go
take
there on
the girl.
if you go there on day 3 without saving them, then
She's
she's
like
like she's
brainwashed.
yeah, she's lobotomized.
Oh yeah, that's why she's like that. Poor
And
Romani.
you can actually in that if you fail the thing you see the cows go up into the sun,
Yeah.
thing, and then you see her fly up too, and she's screaming, and
Oh,
it's terrifying.
I don't remember that. Oh, I kind of want to see that now, but I kind of don't. It's one of those things. I don't want her to go through that.
I'll
But
find a video for you.
oh, but Guru. So Obi has an accomplishment. I have an accomplishment. What would you say your greatest accomplishment is?
Oh man, that's a lot. I've done a lot of things. Y'all are talking about Majora's Mask, getting all the masks and everything. One accomplishment
Did you
Well,
beat
an
Wise?
an achievement.
I
Sorry, I know I said accomplishment, but it could be
well,
achievement or
well
accomplishment.
no, I'm just saying that it's time for me to flex.
Oh,
But I do Majora's Mask randomizers, and most of the time when I play them, I try to do them in like one like 7-hour setting. So
oh,
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And those are really fun. I think if I had to think about like the number one thing in a game that I've done that was like so hard, but
Beating
I felt
Sephiroth in Kingdom
amazing
Hearts
after.
2.
Dude, Sephiroth's easy.
Yeah, I know.
What are you talking about? No, although it would be probably beating the Lingering Will Terra boss in Kingdom Hearts 2 at level 1,
Oh, okay.
because
Oh
that
wow.
yeah, level 1. And if not that,
Level
then
1.
recently when I had replayed Bloodborne, I played the DLC for the first time, and there's this boss in there called Orphan of Cause that is just insane, and it took me about like 4 hours worth of attempts. But
Wow.
but it was like it was that it's that moment when you beat a boss and like it's like really good design. It was just all on you, and you finally get to
Oh
the end.
yeah.
Like the first thing I said when I got
Yes.
that final hit, I was on a Discord call with friends, and I was like, "That is the best boss
Yeah.
FromSoft has ever designed." Oh my god!
Yeah, I've had those moments where you're like just when you're playing the game and you're losing, you're like, man, fuck this. This is too like cheesy. It's too gimmicky. But then you like actually beating, and then you think back on that match and you're like, wow, that was such a great boss fight. like,
There's
like
there's so many bosses in like games where whenever you play them, you're like, man, it's really nice whenever it's a
mhm.
design. It's like it's designed so well that if you die, it's like almost always your fault.
Yeah,
Like so
exactly.
you can't even really get mad at anything besides yourself. And that's exactly how I feel about it. Like if you ask me, Terra in Kingdom Hearts 2 is like peak boss design in video games. Like he's just
Yes,
perfect. You have to completely learn his patterns and everything,
you
and
do.
you beat him, and that fight is incredible. So beating it at level 1 was like one of the best feelings I've ever had. So probably that, either that or Orphan of Cause from Bloodborne.
What
Dang,
about Bruce? Speaking of Square Enix, what about Weiss? Did you ever beat Weiss in the
No.
Final Fantasy VII
I,
remake?
I fought him for like a little bit, got him like to 75%, and then he just killed me, and I was like, all right, no.
I still
No,
have. That's the only trophy I'm missing.
man. I kind of like I love 7 remake, but I didn't care enough to do like Pride and Joy
Pride
and
and Joy wasn't that bad.
yeah, yeah. I've heard that the worst part of that is the Bahamut fight before that, because I heard that part is where it really sucks. But I don't know. I kind of like I love 7 Remakes gameplay, but not enough to warrant me spending a bunch of time on that and like getting to max level and everything.
y'all don't play Monster Hunter?
No, I
Monster
Nah.
do have.
Hunter.
I have Monster Hunter Rise. I haven't
Monster.
started it yet though. If you wanna, if y'all ever wanna play Monster
Yeah,
Hunter.
we have it. My girl and I are big Monster Hunter fans, but I was gonna say almost every boss fight feels like an achievement, especially when you're like trying to work your way up. I think, and the reason I'm talking about it now is because you said Behemoth, and I think Behemoth was actually one of the bosses that was added as like a fun fight. They still called it. They had the audacity to call it fun. That thing is not to be messed with at all, and so that's just what it reminded me. But Monster Hunter is also one of the games that you always feel accomplished once you're actually able to learn the patterns. Because kind of like what you said about Terra, once you learn the monster's kind of attack behavior, everything they do, you're like, this is fun. This is really fun.
Yeah, I don't even care that I'm dying because it's just so much fun.
Yeah, and I guess honestly I would have to backtrack my personal accomplishment and say mine would be Terra, because I haven't done it at level 1. I'm not that talented, but
Critical mode.
I did do it in critical mode. And
Nice.
I did do it in critical mode. It did take me a lot of tries, and actually, I still have it recorded on my PS5 because I wasn't recording through the Elgato, but I did get you know how it gives you the option of 30 minutes or an hour or whatever. I have
Yeah.
that. I have that recording, and I just, oh my god, there was this one try where he constantly kept doing the freaking
Bike?
the bike thing for like
Yeah.
10 minutes straight.
That's his
It
worst
was
move.
so bad. It's so
Honestly,
bad. But
at this point when I'm
man,
playing and I get bike phase, I just reset the game. Like I'm not even gonna mess with that because he's just gonna do it forever.
forever. No, and then but I just remember like my heart starts pounding when I see the 2 bars left, the 2 squares, and I'm going, and I know it's enough damage. My heart starts pumping, 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 and then as soon as I saw that slow motion, I was like, yes, Yes.
Yeah, it helps that like in Kingdom Hearts, the like freeze frame that happens when you beat a boss is
Mm-hmm.
like the most satisfying thing ever.
Which they brought to Smash if you play in
Hmm.
hard points with Sora, but you have
Stamina.
to win with Sora. Yeah, stamina mode. And
Yeah,
but yeah, it is. I would have to say that instead because t- for people you have to be patient. I wouldn't even say Yozora. Yozora was a little bit more easier to learn because Yozora it literally is like step by step. Terra is unpredictable. Terra is either the bike phase or you get lucky.
yeah,
So, but Yozora is actually like on a design path, especially with his what do they call it? The final desperation move or
yeah. Oh god, why am I blanking on
yeah,
it?
me too.
DM. That's desperation move.
Yeah, DM.
DM.
So even the DM, all you gotta do is just block a few, dodge, block a few, dodge. Like it's always like that. But with Terra, yeah, it's like that. Especially his super. But he mixes it up, especially when he takes away your attack. That's annoying. That's
Yeah,
really annoying.
that is hilarious that they did that.
Yeah, but it is cool. But other than that, Obi, you
Man,
don't play.
I'm just gonna say real quick, we gotta. I didn't know you played KH2 on crit and you beat Terra, dude. We gotta get you playing the randomizer like now.
Yeah, no, I've when because I had to rebuy. So I had Kingdom Hearts 3. I rebought 2.5, 1.5 in that package, and
Hmm.
I only play Kingdom Hearts at the hardest difficulty. I've learned that through Kingdom Hearts 1 because I never beat Kingdom Hearts 1, but then someone at school when I was in middle school they told me, "Oh yeah, if you want to see like a cool cutscene, make sure you're playing it in proud mode or whatever the difficulty." I think in that one they don't even have proud mode in Kingdom Hearts 1.
In the very original on PS2, it was just like expert mode, and then they added Proud
Some
to Final Mix.
something like that, yeah. And back then it was more like you beat it in the hardest difficulty, you don't have to collect the ansem reports. You just get the post-credit scene.
Yep.
Well, that's what made me play all the Kingdom Hearts game at the hardest difficulty from the get-go. So I've truly never experienced Kingdom Hearts casually. I've always had to go through the hardest difficulty. But some post credit scenes worth it. Some should have played in standard to make it a little easier. But yeah, no, Kingdom Hearts 2.5 definitely in crit. Kingdom Hearts 3 crit, Remind crit. Um and I don't think there's no other hard mode than that. Is that correct?
Yeah, crit in most games is the hardest difficulty.
Yeah, no, Kingdom Hearts is a really fun game for me, honestly. The franchise is fun, and even though you say like Kingdom Hearts 2 is great combat, I like Kingdom Hearts 3. I will say yes, it is floaty. I will say that, but I guess I do like the fire. Kingdom Hearts 3 better.
There it is. There it is.
Okay, because
fire's an AoE in Cage 2. You can combo into it.
Because the fire in Cage 2, it's a coat. It's a coat you wear, and yeah, speedrunners use it. I've seen the abuse that poor Organization 13 get from Firaga. Poor guys.
Dude, final form Firaga is just it's beautiful. How can you not love that?
Well, it's just that like it's mostly used for the that type of tricks. But for me, Kingdom Hearts 3, just like Kingdom Hearts 1, is mostly like it's shooting fireballs, and that's what I like. And I actually have a video where I beat the Inferno something from Kingdom Hearts 3, the secret boss.
Oh yeah, the darkness. Whatever,
yeah, I blasted him with all fire. Like I killed him with all fire, and I have a video of
Fire's
that.
broken in Cage 3.
Yeah, I love fire. No, but I have like endless magic. I'll have to show you because it's actually pretty cool. But other than that, I do want to bring this podcast to a close because we could talk about Kingdom Hearts forever. And I know Obi's like, I don't really play Kingdom Hearts.
I'm like, I have no idea what y'all are talking about.
He's
But
like
cool.
Faraga. Okay, I've seen that in Final Fantasy VII.
Yep, pretty much.
But okay, we'll bring this to a close. Thank you guys so much for listening. Again, we will be continuing this podcast. We're shooting for every Sunday, so make sure every Sunday stay tuned. Please subscribe to make sure you're not missing out, and to also get content for Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Thank you guys so much, and I hope everyone has a good night or day wherever you're at.
All right. Have a good night, y'all.
Bye, everyone.